All right, folks, we are live. We've got our panelists, we've got our attendees. We are on Facebook. Adam, you want to get us started?
For sure. Welcome, everybody, to the March on Milwaukee digital series. We've been doing conversations at noon, over the lunch hour throughout May, when we focused on the open housing marches, throughout June, when we focused on Latinx history. In July, we've been looking at food, inspired by really what we're missing from a typical Milwaukee or Wisconsin summer, which is festivals, being outdoors, being with community, and also eating a bunch of food. We've had a great conversation about Walker's Point and gentrification, about Mitchell Street last week. Today, the title of our event is From Southeast Asia to Southeast Wisconsin, Sap Sap, Lao, and Hmong culture. That also could be Southeast Milwaukee. But yeah, let's move to the next slide. And today, let's just jump right into it. We have three remarkable panelists who agreed to be with us. And why don't, we're going to get a little bit more into your stories as we move forward, but if you all wouldn't mind, let's have you each introduce yourselves. Just give us a snapshot of who you are and what you do. And let's start with Maihua.
Good afternoon, everyone. My name is Maihua Mua, and I'm with the Milwaukee Consortium for Hmong Health. And what we do is we try to reach out to the Southeast Asian population to educate them about cancer, specifically to breast, cervical, and liver cancer, and chronic diseases such as hypertension and diabetes, which are very common in our Southeast Asian population.
All right, thank you, Maihua. Alex, do you want to go next?
Yeah, my name is Alex Hanasaka, owner and operator of Sap Sap. We're kind of like a Southeast Asian-driven food company that does wholesale, pop-up dinners. Not no more though, but we've been doing curbside pickup this past few months and been doing pretty well. We're located here in Racine, Wisconsin, but we do events in Milwaukee, a lot of collaborations with other chefs. Looking to do some really awesome things coming up next year. So, yeah.
All right, cool. And we're going to get more into your story as we move forward. And then last but not least, Dr. Maisi Tao. Thanks for being with us, even as you're traveling to close on a house.
Thank you. Thanks for inviting me. So I am actually a medical anthropologist. I did my PhD in anthropology from the University of Minnesota. And so when I met Rob, I was actually a postdoctoral fellow at the Medical College of Wisconsin. But my new role, starting August, is assistant professor and director of Hmong studies at UW Oshkosh.
Very cool. Excellent. So we caught you in a moment of like multiple transitions, not like the world's in transition and you're in some personal ones as well.
Yeah, it's quite crazy, but that's just how it is.
Well, we thank you three for joining us today. We really appreciate your time.
Why don't we, Keisha, let's move to the next slide. Absolutely.
So, we're missing out on some of the most fun and engaging events and developments that occur here in Milwaukee, and that's our festivals. And so what we like to do for our conversations is to get attendees, both those who are in our Zoom conversation and those on Facebook Live. We want to get them involved right away. And so we like to start with a question that encourages that participation. And what we like to share today and what we like to hear from folks today is what's missing in this COVID moment? What is the summer activity or the summer festivals or the experiences over the summer in Milwaukee that you're missing? I'll start. I just like the entire vibe of the summer because any given day, any given week, you can be driving through the city and bump into a festival. There's fireworks every day, it seems like. There's Wednesday, Thursday, Friday concerts in the park. There's all kinds of activities. And so the vibe of the summers in Milwaukee are certainly an experience that I just did not realize until I moved here. And so it's a great feel, and we're missing that. And so I miss the entire vibe of the summer. Anybody else want to jump in and talk a little bit about what we're missing in this COVID-19 moment?
For me, I think you hit it right on the head. I mean, I miss music, gatherings, barbecues, festivals, um, our dining events, more importantly. Yeah, just the elements of nature when it's summertime, and that social gathering is, kind of been my thing that I really miss.
For me, the Hmong community usually have gatherings across the nation during the summertime with sports tournaments. And that's where a lot of vendors come to sell food, to sell clothings and traditional clothings, and artists come in and perform. And so, for some reason, food is always best at these events. And that's where, many of the Hmong community really enjoyed going out to socialize with people. And so that's something that we miss now, especially this year. And then, of course, there's still family gatherings at parks or for graduation celebrations or birthdays. So, yeah, I mean, a lot of things that usually happen is not happening this year, including our one Asian festival that we have at Silver City on the south side. That's another big event that we can own as a community, and it's not happening this year either.
Actually, that was what I was going to say, was that exact festival, the Silver City International Festival. And real quick, I'm going to do a screen share because I have some photos that last year I took some of these photos. We, at the the Silver City International Festival, we got a vintage couch out into the street and we just started taking photos of people. This was with Neighborhood News Service, where I also work behind the scenes. And that festival truly is international. You get people of all backgrounds coming out into the street. There's my neighbor Pa and her husband Jeff. But yeah, this is. I mean, doesn't this seem like this is so forbidden?
Right, absolutely.
like even the idea of like bringing a couch out and asking people, like your neighbors, to sit on it, they'd be like, "Are you going to spray it down between each person?" So.
Right.
Yeah,
Dr. Tao, what are your thoughts? What are some things you're missing these days?
Well, I think so I've only been in Milwaukee for 2 years, and I unfortunately haven't been able to get out or get to enjoy the summers here in Milwaukee. But when I was an undergrad at UW-Madison, I'd come out here to visit my sister. So I remember Asian Moon Festival, for Summerfest. And so I was actually really looking forward to doing that. And I have 2 little girls. And so kind of, being able to take your kids to enjoy the things that you grew up enjoying, just really missing that kind of aspect of it.
Awesome. Thank you all so very much. We've got some folks in the chat telling us that they just miss watching people by the lake and all the activity that occurs down by the lake. And apparently some of that's still occurring, but obviously not in the same ways that we would have in previous summers. So thanks, Lisa, for sharing that. Cool. Let's keep going.